Hello everyone, we are back and the Pokemon Company has just announced Regulation D, which is going to be the format we are going to be playing starting in July, and more importantly, it is going to be the World Championships format, which is super exciting information, and I am super happy to see the format as well. It's going to be a really nice fresh change of pace for the format. Really excited to see how the format goes from here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this world format. Then we're going to go into some of the Pokemon that I think are going to be kind of influential, like these big Pokemon that I'm really kind of excited to use to see. But what we're all here for, the format itself, is going to be everything that we have right now, which is Regulation C. And we're going to add in all of the Pokemon that we are able to get into Scarlet and Violet from the home update, outside of the restricted legendaries and the mythicals, and for some reason Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. This means it's going to be everything minus the box legendaries like Kyogre and stuff like that, minus the mythicals like Mew and so forth. And once again, Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, they just said no. There's a full list of everything you're able to transfer in. I'll leave that in the comment section down below. Actually, it'll be in the description. What am I saying? It'll be in the description down below for you guys if you guys want to check it out. But stuff like Oshawott and Samurott will be allowed. Tornadus, Thunders, Landers, all going to be allowed. But something like Dialga and Palkia are not going to be allowed. But yeah, really looking forward to this format. We're going to jump actually into Showdown right now. We're going to talk a little bit about some of these key pieces that I think are going to really start shaking up the meta. Okay, so we are going to start this one off with the Hisuiemons. And honestly, really looking forward to seeing some of these. Obviously, I don't know how Fire Rock Arcanine is going to be, but the big ones I really do want to point out and that I really want to see are Hisuian Lilligant. I also want to see, I think Hisuian Zoroark is going to be really good. And I also think the big one here is going to be, and the big one everybody is talking about, it's going to be Ursaluna. Of course, we also have to worry about the Thundurus and stuff, but we'll get into that shortly. So Lilligant is just going to be a really good chlorophyll user. Long story short, grass fighting is really nice coverage. Honestly, just a change of pace, right? The speed tier is really nice, the attack damage is really nice, and you still get your access to, you know, your normal sun stuff. You get your sleep powder. I believe it still gets after you as well, which it does. So it's just going to make that addition of the sleep, of the sun mode a little bit scarier, right? It's going to be faster than your regular Lilligant, I believe, because I believe that was only 90. Yes, it was, right? And that extra speed tier is going to be super nice. It's going to have relevant fighting coverage now as well, which I'm really intrigued to see how it works out. And I really do think it's going to be a really good mon moving forward into the Regulation D. Now, Zoroark as well. Really hyped to see Zoroark Hisui here. I'm a ghost type lover, so seeing this mon is going to be really cool. And I think for the first time in a long time, illusion might actually become a thing. And I joke a lot, and I've joked a lot on stream with this for the past few days, is I'm going to bring Zoroark on my team, and I'm just going to never bring it into battle. I'm just going to leave it in the back the entire time. It sounds so chaotic. I'm super intrigued. And by the way, I'm super intrigued because Hisuian Zoroark kind of makes Annihilate have to rethink what it wants to do. Because Rage Fist, I'm immune to it. Drain Punch, I'm immune to it. Meaning it really can't touch me unless it starts changing its move. Unless it starts changing its moveset, which I think is really something that could shake up the meta a lot. I'm not too familiar with speed tiers and stuff here, but the stats look crazy. And like, honestly, like, what did Bitter Malice do? 100% chance to lower attack and its base 75 power seems kind of good. Anyways, really cool to see this one, but the big one here is going to be Ursaluna, guys. Everybody's talking about Ursaluna. It gets guts. You're going to throw a Flame Orb on this thing probably as a starting point. I'm sure this meta is going to develop, and it's not always going to be like guts stab facade, if I could type. And that's the big one, right? I believe it also gets Headlong Rush. Yeah. This thing is going to start picking up knockouts. It's probably going to be a Trick Room Sweeper. But, like, I am super looking forward to this. Oh, another one I want to talk about is Sneasler while we're here. Sorry, guys. My mind's kind of all over the place. But I really just wanted to get this information out to you guys as quickly as possible because I am super hyped. And given that I have my Worlds invite, we'll be doing a lot of Regulation D team building stuff on the channel moving forward. Even probably before it starts, because I'm just super amped to try to get this format in because, like, I don't know, I like the shakeup of things. But anyway, Sneasler, what is the move called? It is Dire Claw, yes. And Dire Claw has a 50% chance to either sleep, to poison, or paralyze the target. And now, you know what? That seems kind of mid. It doesn't seem that great, right? But now all of a sudden, you take a look at the stats. It is base 130 attack and base 120 speed. So chances are I'm going to be moving first, and I'm going to have a 50% chance to put you to sleep, poison you, or paralyze you. I hate to break it to you, but that's what's going to happen. Now, something I don't actually know the mechanic of is, let's say I click Dire Claw into an electric type. I don't know if I can roll the paralysis or if it's going to cancel out the fact that I can roll it, and then it's only going to give me a chance to sleep or poison. I would assume there is a chance I can roll the paralysis, and I'll still only have the 50% chance to do one of the three. So I might roll into getting the paralysis, but obviously I can't paralyze an electric type. Things like that, right? Now, really, really cool mod. And we're going to talk about the genies because we've got to talk about the genies, right? Everybody's favorite Pokemon, whichever way you want to look at it. I mean, I'm pretty hyped to see Landorus back, but this could really go either way depending on how you want to see things. But everybody's favorite genies are back, guys. We've got some new additions here thanks to the Hisui region. Once again, the Hisui region seems to be the region that keeps on giving here. And something I really want to talk about is these new moves on these genies. And that's really all I'm going to touch upon today. Wild Bolt Storm. Looks like it hits both targets and has a 20% chance to paralyze you. I'm just saying, I know it's only 80% accurate, but seems kind of good if you ask me. Landorus, I also believe, gets something similar. I don't remember the name of it, though. Yeah, Sandsear Storm, right? And that is 20% chance to burn you. Same concept, right? Probably not going to see it too often on the Landorus Therian, but maybe if someone like Sheer Force Landorus I becomes a thing, which I honestly think it could be based on this move. This is a really cool move. Obviously, you're not going to get the chance to burn if you're Sheer Force, but hey, you still get the Sheer Force boost, and you pair that with a Life Orb. It's doing damage. It's a 100 base power spread move. Why not? Right? Like, why not? And then obviously the same thing happens here with Bleakwood Storm, which is actually what I find funny is a 30% chance, not 20 like the other two. This one's a 30% chance. I don't know why, but it's a 30% chance to lower the opponent's speed, which could be a crucial form of speed control, especially after like you click Tailwind and then you can like Bleakwind Storm and maybe slow them down even more. Gonna be wild. I'm interested to see how these get into the game. And then we have to talk about the new genie. I can't stand this thing's design. I do think it's going to see play, though. You obviously have the contrary over here. And I believe the other form has Overcoat, which is a really, really cool option. And honestly, speed stat here looking good. Like, it's similar to the other genies. I believe the other form is actually slower. Yeah, the other form is like Overcoat, Trick Room Mon kind of thing. But I believe, like, it still gets a... Does it get a cool move? Yeah, Springtide Storm, that's what it is. And it's 30% chance to drop attack by 1, which really, really cool. Excited to see the genies coming back. Yeah. And once again, guys, I could sit here for the next 7 hours and talk about every single Pokemon that's coming back because I think it's such a hype format that we're gonna see. But I'm gonna end it here with the birds, the legendary trios, if you will. Zapdos, I think is going to make the biggest impact of the three of them. The other two will be good as well. But more so regular Zapdos and Galarian Moltres I think are going to be seeing play and a lot of it. Galarian Moltres is just a really, really cool mon, but Zapdos is going to go crazy with Terra. Electric Flying is an incredible typing. And the only reason Kilowattrel wasn't that great was because it just wasn't that great, you know? Now, I don't know if this actually gets access to Tailwind again, which would be really, really good. And now you can Terra out of your weaknesses with Zapdos. So I could potentially have like a Terra Water Zapdos, you know? Even a Terra Grass Zapdos to like not get spored could be really, really cool. I think Zapdos is going to go crazy. I think it's a needed piece in the metagame. And I'm really looking forward to see what it can do. I think it's also going to be really, really good versus those Dondozo teams. I don't want to say Dondozo is going to be irrelevant now because I'm sure it will still find its way in. It's still probably a pretty good core, still probably a pretty good strategy. But Zapdos, I think, is really going to help out there. Just the natural bulk that it has, it can hit the Dondozo pretty hard as well with some strong Thunderbolts. Going to be really, really good. Moltres, I believe, is probably the best of the 3 Galarian forms of these birds. And obviously, you're not going to love putting this thing in front of Fluttermane, and that's said, but nothing really wants to be in front of Flutter Mane, right? So obviously something like this on an anti-Flutter Mane team, maybe you have some anti-Flutter Mane techs, right? But I do think Moltres Galar could be really, really good. I still like Fiery Wrath. I still think it's a good move. 20% chance to flinch, spread move, base 90 power, stab. Berserk is a really good ability, right? And you can Terra. And I just think the ability to Terra is going to make these legendary trios really, really good, right? And like I didn't even talk about that when we were going over the Landorus and such, right? Like it just makes sense to Terra these things, and that it just gives you that extra element that they didn't have before. So before they were good, but imagine now that you have that extra element. Maybe I can go Terra Grass, Terra Water Lando. I'm not weak to ice anymore. Sorry, bud. You can't just freeze dry me in the... Oh, you can still freeze dry me, but you can't just ice beam me in the end game sort of thing, right? And I'm really, really excited to see how this format goes and where it goes. Okay, I know I said I was done, but I lied. I'm sorry. I have to talk about my horses. I have to talk about the horses. Anyways, we've got Glacier, we've got Spectrier. I probably butchered their names. I never knew how to say them. I think it's like Spectrier. I don't know. I don't know how you want to say them. But either way, two really, really key pieces. You've got a really nice Trick Room on here in your Glacier. With a lot of damage, you're going to get stuff like Icicle Crash. You can actually get an advantage here. And you could actually see something like Loaded Dice now. That's a really cool tool for this, because that's something it never had. Oh, did it lose Icicle Spear? No way. It lost Icicle Spear. Did it never have it? I swear it used to have it. That's wild if it lost Icicle Spear, though. That's cool. That's interesting to see. I didn't know that. But either way, still going to be a really, really good Trick Room Sweeper. Icicle Crash, maybe something like Clear Amulet so you don't get intimidated. Could be really, 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 really good. But either way, that's something I want to see. Glacier is going to be something. I couldn't finish this update video without touching upon this Spectre and this Glacier. Anyways, Spectre... just gonna be the fast version of that. You know, you're gonna be hitting hard. 130 is really, really good. Unfortunately, you do get outpaced by Flutter Mane, which is a tad bit unfortunate. And you probably don't even one-shot, I don't think. Like, not the bulkier variants anyways. Like, you'd have to go, like, max, and you probably might be able to get a roll depending on the spreads. Like, I haven't done any calcs, guys. Like, they literally announced this format, like, 20 minutes ago. I said, nope, I gotta record this video. We're gonna pump it out. So here we are. But anyways, like I said, I'm really intrigued to see where this goes. Like, fast Will-O-Wisp has never been a bad thing. Fast Will-O-Wisp, fast Snarl, right? And all those, like, bulky Flutter Manes now that I'm just going to be potentially outpacing if I go max speed and I just Snarl them, just feels good. You know, like, now I don't know how the meta is going to develop from here, but I am super, super intrigued to see where it goes. Guys, but once again, we're going to wrap this up here. Format is here. Once again, I will leave every relevant link down below for you guys to check out. But if you guys do enjoy this type of video, if you guys are pumped for Regulation D and the Worlds format, I know it's a little bit early. We still got a little bit, a little ways left with Regulation C. But I am super, super pumped to see what Regulation D can do. But with that, we're going to get on out of here. Thank you all so much for checking out the video, and I will catch you all in a future video.